Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott. Join us every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Learn more about the Experience community at our website, local.theexperience.video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The Experience is brought to you each week by these great sponsors. Present Gifting believes relationships are important. Moments matter. Join the early VIP access list at presentgifting.com.
And Capital Mortgage Source of Corvallis, Oregon. For all your mortgage services, go to capitalmortgagesource.com. And Ironhead Roofing in the Willamette Valley for all of your roofing, repair, and new roofs, and even solar. Go to ironheadroofing.com. And the Albany Habitat for Humanity. To donate or volunteer today, go to albanyareahfh.org.
And now let's get on with the show.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. And so glad to be with you this morning. Scott, how are you doing? Oh, you're muted, Scott. It's all good.
There we go. All right. Hey,
there we go.
So we've been going through the passing of my wife, and she did go to heaven yesterday at 3:15 in the afternoon, and I just wanted to come on and be a part of the show today. And even though it's been so quick from her passing, there's been so many people and people around the world and friends like Russ and Shri and so many of you out there that have been praying, that have been sending messages. And I just felt that it was important that I make sure and come out here and right up front, just say thank you to everybody. It's been a great support. It was really sudden. My wife's discovery of her cancer and leading to her death was very sudden. We found out on the 13th of April. But we had lots of time these last weeks together. And so many people say I would give anything for another 5 minutes. And we had quite a number of days. And so for that, I'm grateful.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Every moment, Scott, so important. So important. And, I think back to when my mama was in her final time and the time that we spent together. Every moment, even though I knew what was happening, I knew where she was going, but at the same time, every moment was so important. Some of my best memories are from that.
Yeah. And that's, I'll say this show goes back to when you were recording Happy Moments with Mama.
That's right. And it's, what a blessing to have those memories. I recorded those for me, for memories, but it ended up blessing so many people, just as Christine was blessing so many people in her last days, leading up to going to be with Jesus. She was just shining for Jesus, and that's amazing.
Absolutely. She was making a difference in the lives of the staff and everyone there. And that was just, that was just a blessing. And so I just put in the comments, I just put a link. People can go to agingbetternetwork.com. And if you go to the live tab, then you can watch your shows. And as she said, it was unscripted conversations. She did things different because she didn't want to have a show, right, with the big opening and closing and music and all this stuff. She just wanted it to be more like, you came up and people were having a conversation and you got to join in, and that's what it was. So you go and watch these great conversations. So many people, as Shri mentioned, she was on the show. You've been on the show. So many different folks she brought together, and that's a part of the legacy. And that's why we encourage people to write books. Russ, you've got a project going on right now that is an opportunity. I get to participate in that. And I will tell you that Christine gave me express permission to use her story, to use our story in this upcoming book. Maybe you want to mention something about that project coming up, Russ.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's so exciting. Don't have all the details right here, but I think that Eber can pull those up and put those on the screen. Doing an amazing project right now, just all about the perspective in the midst of life challenges, really is what it's all about. And, similar to the book that I wrote, Life Happens and Then You Choose. Well, this is a group effort. When life gets messy, you know what, which it is, where do we go? What is our perspective and how do we look at things? And Catherine is putting that together. We'll get her information up there too. Ever, if you could grab that information, that would be great. And so anyway, if you want to be part of that project, we'd love to have you. Still putting together all the members. Going to be about 20 people on that project. So yeah, it'll be great. It'll be great. So
yeah,
anyway,
whatever you do, add to your legacy. I think back, I've got this reel-to-reel recorder back behind me that was my father's. And in his last days, he had started to learn how to play banjo. And he had some friends over and they were recording a little practice session. And, I can hear my father's voice. It's the only audio recording I have of my father. And I encourage people, write, record, share, add to your legacy, add to your body of work.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's just it, because every day is precious. Every day you have an opportunity and you never know. I mean, this would seem to be sudden with Christine, but Scott, as I told you, another really good friend of ours, just yesterday was working out at the gym in the morning, and then he was with Jesus just that
and he's
quickly.
been a guest on our show.
Yeah, he has been a guest on our show. And I just was actually just swung in to see him a couple of weeks ago. He gave me a big hug. It was praising God and praising life. So thankful for Craig. Anyway, oh, good. Here's some information. There is the information about the book collaboration coming up. So click on that link if you're interested for more information. And let's see here. And the name of it is Finding Joy When Life Gets Messy. So I know it's close. Intentional perspective. Finding joy when life gets messy. There you go. So with that, Scott, we're here every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Everybody watch if you miss us, which you shouldn't. Come see us live. But if you miss us, we're on LinkedIn and YouTube forever and Facebook for 30 days after that. So you can go back and watch forever, share, connect, whatever. Then it converts to audio podcasts on all of your favorite podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, on and on and on. So please like, share, and comment whatever your favorite platform is. And with that, Scott, I think we should get Crystal in the room, our wonderful guest today, who is a blessing, who loves Jesus. Great to have her on today. We met her at PodFest. She was leading the prayer meetings the morning before we got going with PodFest. So I think we should get her in. What do you think, Scott? Let's
do it.
All right, here we go. Got to do my big intro here. There we go. And here she is. I thought I clicked on her already. There we go.
There we go. Hey, Crystal, good to see you again.
Hi, Russ and Scott. Thank you so much for that fun and entrance. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys and an honor.
Yeah, well, you were such a blessing. I was blessed to do your show, and you and I have had several chances to chat since PodFest. I was so excited about people looking to the Lord before the event, and when we got to meet and pray before PodFest, that was so special. Thank you.
It's my privilege to do it. I had never been to anything like that before in any podcasting conference. I'm fairly new to the world of podcasting, but I just knew that I wanted a place to pray, and I figured, why not open it to some other people? And I did not expect the turnout that we had. We had actually two separate groups that were doing it. The group that couldn't find us, and I think it might have been you or somebody else said, can we do it every day of the conference instead of just the one day that I suggested? And that's what we did. And
Yeah.
it was it's really important to invite the Holy Spirit into those big moments and the little ones.
Yes, I agree 100%, 100%. So thank you for that. And I'm getting ahead of myself here, Crystal. Let's back up, rewind, and say, we need to find out more about you. Who in the world is Crystal Dunaway? What are you up to? Tell us about you.
Oh, wow. I am a follower of Christ. I love Jesus. And I am the host of Holy Wreckage podcast. That's what led me to the podcasting conference and led me to having both of you as a guest on my show. So shout out to Scott. His is coming out this Monday, May 11th. And Russ, his story of how God healed him from cancer is already out. So go check it out. I am happily married to my husband, Miguel, and I have 3 adult children.
That's so awesome.
And let's get back to this holy wreckage. Let's delve into that a little bit more.
All right. A lot of people ask me, like, how did you come up with that name? And I just say that, we all have a wreckage in our lives. What's a word that describes all the bad things that happens to us? Wreckage. And there's a holy God that comes into that wreckage and sits with us and mourns with us and teaches us how to walk with him out of it. And so it feels like a paradox at first, but it's not. I think it's perfect that in our wreckage, the holy God is the one that we go to. And, it wasn't my idea. It was the Lord's idea to even start the podcast, because I had a really difficult year last year, finding out through a DNA test that my dad, that had been murdered 25 years before, wasn't my biological father. And I had just been through a really difficult time finding that out and meeting my new family. And then the Lord said, I was going to be writing a book, but he said, I want you to start a podcast. I was like, what? Please don't make me do that. I have zero desire to do that. It's not the desire of my heart, Lord. And he just said, I will give you what to say. I will bring the people. I just need your yes. And man, he has just walked me through step by step along the way. He's brought incredible people like yourselves to share their stories. And I've just been meeting with amazing people and there's no shortage of people that want to say how good God is in their life. So I'm happy to do it.
Well, it's amazing how God shows up and does deliver and provide. I'm so thankful for that. And, your whole theme, this holy wreckage, I've loved it from the get-go, because you told me you were a holy wreck. God came in and, is working within that. And that's really all of us every day of our lives. I think people are sitting there. A lot of people might be thinking, you know what? I've got so much going on in my life, and you don't even understand what's going on in my life. And you know what? We don't understand what's going on in your life. You're right, but God understands, right? God understands what's going on. And man, I tell you, I was having a tough time last night. I was having a really tough time after Christine's passing, and then a good friend from Corvallis yesterday, while he's working out at the gym, at a cardiac event, and he passed into heaven. And there's just a lot of other things going on, some health issues, and me and my family and other stuff going on. And I'm just like overwhelmed with what was happening. But, God was right there to bring me that peace that passes all understanding and let me know it was going to be okay. And Crystal, I tell you, with all the people that you've reached out to that are on your podcast, sure, you got some great stories of what God's done in people's lives. And it probably really touches your heart as well.
Absolutely. Amen that you felt the Holy Spirit with you last night. He never leaves us nor forsakes us, even if it doesn't feel like it. And that's kind of just the story that we want to keep telling in Holy Wreckage. And Scott, I want to extend my condolences to you about the loss of your wife. I had no idea. I think when we recorded your episode several weeks ago, I don't know that she had that diagnosis yet.
Yeah, she did not. She
Yeah,
did not.
so wow, that was incredibly fast, and I'm just so sorry for that. And I pray the Lord's peace and comfort over you and your entire family through this process.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
As we think about these things. Obviously, this is very recent here in my life. But as we say, everybody has something, right? And I encourage people to go out and do a little YouTube search. Chick-fil-A has a training video, and it is called "Everybody Has Something," or it's something like. But anyway, you put that in, it's going to come up. And basically, what it does is it's a camera movement through an entire restaurant, starting with one of the employees and the other, and it kind of goes through the different customers, and it talks about, like, here's the manager, and here he is working, and his son was just deployed to the Middle East, right, as a soldier. There's a senior citizen lady sitting at the table or a gentleman that's sitting there eating, and their spouse just passed, but they came there every week to eat, right, and now sitting alone. There's a father and a daughter, and the daughter, they zoom in on her, and it says that her mother died in childbirth and her father still blames her, right? And it will tear at your heart. But it's important to know everybody has something. And I think that's what you're trying to bring out with Holy Wreckage.
Absolutely. Everybody has a story, and no story to me is worse than anybody else's. Oftentimes I have heard people say to me, wow, you have the craziest story I've ever heard of my life. And to me, like, I can just rattle it off like it's nothing because it's my life. But to somebody else, it sounds absolutely devastating. Like for you, both of you, I've never experienced cancer, and I've never experienced the loss of a spouse, but I know what despair feels like. I know what loneliness feels like. And, I think we all share in the emotions that we all feel. We're all made with emotions. And I wanted to do Holy Wreckage so that we can talk about the things that hurt us and that the Lord has healed in us, because I feel like we don't talk about them enough. We talk about our problems, but do we talk about the solution? Do we talk about the God who can heal and who can redeem that story? And I just want to bring in also the importance of family relationships. I've learned in the last year more than ever. I come from a very complicated family. I had 3 moms, 6 dads now. I lived in many different homes and went to 13 schools before I graduated. I had addiction for over 25 years to alcohol, and the Lord has redeemed all of that. And just now in the last year, since I found out that basically all I knew about my life was not true, and that I have a new dad, the importance of relationships, because there's a whole community of people that have found out that their parent isn't their parent, but their actual biological parent isn't alive anymore. And they have all of that opportunity to get to know them has passed. And thankfully I'm not in that situation, but this community is very brokenhearted. So my heart, I advocate for this NPE community as well.
Yeah. I tell you, it's important every day to reach out to those we love and that we care about. And I think that is so important. God, created us for community. He created us for relationship. And I just think that is so important. So let me just go back and ask you, when you started when you started thinking about doing podcasting and you really felt like God was moving you that direction, what were you doing in your life? What else were you doing besides podcasting?
I was trying to write a memoir. And that's what led me to take the DNA test anyway, because I wanted to make sure that my facts were straight. And once I got those results, the writing the book kind of just went on the shelf for a little bit so I could heal from that trauma. And then a few months later, the Lord just said, I want you to write start a podcast, and I want you to write the book like at the same time. And so I'm gonna take a break this summer and write my memoir as well. But that's in the very beginning stages. I just have a couple of chapters written so far.
Well, that's fascinating. I just want to talk about I want you to share a little bit about your process for doing this to encourage other people who would like to write their memoirs.
Just put pen to paper. I like pen to paper. I'm old school, but in the new age, I would just have to I would have to type it again later. So just start typing, just start writing, and don't think about the order, the finished product. Just get your thoughts out, get your memories out, and kind of see what you're working with. I took a class at the local university about creative writing, and there's lots of resources out there that can teach you this or that about writing, but the hardest part is just getting started. And so I just say, and with podcasting as well, you can go down rabbit hole after rabbit hole of how to make a podcast monetize, or what kind of equipment do you need? And you just get the basic equipment and get started, and you learn and grow from there. Because if you wait until it's all perfect, you're going to be waiting quite a while. And the Lord provided everything that I needed. Like, he actually gave me free equipment, and he gave me a university student who had just graduated from film school to help me get my studio set up. He gave me a communications major volunteer to be my co-host in the beginning. And he gave me plenty of people that want to share their stories. So if God gives you a path that he's asked you to walk, I just encouraged you to say yes, because even if you don't know how it's going to turn out, he's going to make sure that you have everything that you need.
Yeah, that's just it. I have found that in my life. God continues to provide when you think there's no way. He makes a way. If it's his plan, it's going to happen. And so thankful for that, with all that I am doing and all that God has provided for me to be able to do what I do, has been such a blessing. Obviously through the cancer journey and all of that's been challenging. Having some health issues lately, it has been challenging, but God is always there to provide, to take care of things. And so thankful for that. One thing as far as memoirs go, it's like Scott was saying, what a blessing that is to do a project like that and to get things down. We were talking about Christine and her live streams, getting things down, being able to bless people long beyond the time we're on this earth. That's what I think is so special about writing a book, about doing live streams, about doing video of any type. I was thinking at my celebration of life, they're going to have about 1 million hours of video to go through. I feel bad for the people that actually have to go through that to put something together. And I tell them, I don't want a long celebration of life. So please don't put together a long video. But, but that stuff is important because it's a piece of them that's there. I go back and watch my Happy Moments with Mama videos. My mom has been gone now for a few years, but I can just be right there beside her as we were walking and laughing and singing, just like it was yesterday. I have a video of me hugging my dad and him saying what a great son I was only like a week before he passed. And just things that I can remember those things. And that just means so much to me. So give everybody just a little bit of encouragement as far as pushing forward with whatever they have, God in their life. And then tell us how people get in touch with you, because they're going to want to be able to talk to you more.
Yeah. So the biggest advice I have is be led by the Holy Spirit. We can take on so much. I'm in a season right now where I kind of feel like I need to take a step back from a couple of things because the load is heavy. But if the Lord's asking you to do something and you just feel like I can't take on one more thing, ask him to help order your priorities. He wants to walk with you through this process. It's a daily relationship with Jesus that gets me through, not just nighttime prayers or holiday sermons. It's every single day rely on the Lord for every step that I take. And if he's called you to it, he's going to get you through it. And his plans are always better than our plans. We can have, this view, which we think is a great view and vision for our life or our passion. But God says, I have something even bigger. Just follow me. And it seems so simple, but true surrender is not as simple. We have to surrender our will to his will. And if anyone would love to share their story of how God has redeemed and restored the wreckage of their life, I would love to hear from you and possibly have you as a guest on my show. You can reach me at crystal@holywreckage.com. We also have resources there for NPEs, which are the people, it's called Not Parent Expected. That's the community of people that have taken DNA tests and gotten big surprises. There's resources for you there, some mental health resources and other podcasts as well that deal with trauma, addiction, and mental health. So I would love to hear from you guys. I would love to pray for you. If you have a prayer request, you can go to my website. We have an option there for you to request prayer. And if you'd like to partner with me, I would love to talk with you. If you'd love to donate, you can also do that on my website at holywreckage.com.
Well, and you'll be blessed because, Crystal, you are just such a blessing. From the moment I met you, such a peaceful, joyful spirit, and all that you've been through and all that you're going through. And you know what? God told us in this world we were going to have trouble, but he had overcome the world, right? He's there with us every step of the way. When we're crying, he's right there crying right beside us and just, giving us that peace and comfort. So just really thankful for you. And we're going to have you back on again in the future because just love this and we'll have to talk more. But thank you for being here today.
Thank you. It is such an honor and privilege to be here with you guys. Thank you for this opportunity.
Great to hang out with you, Crystal. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
We're going to send you to the green room. Hang tight for just 1 sec. We'll see you in a minute.
Okay.
Scott?
Wow.
So great to see you today.
Yeah. It's good to be here. Obviously, full of heartache, but family and friends, right? And that's what makes a difference.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here. So anyway, just let everyone know.
No, that's just it. That is why we're here. And we're here to support each other. We support you. And having been and continue to be on the other end of people supporting me, I'm here with thousands of other people to support you in all that you're going through. And we're just thankful for the joy of the Lord. Christine would rather be no other place than with her Savior right now. And so we're so thankful for that. So Scott, next week we'll be here again together. We'll be here at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time or 9 a.m. Texas Standard Time on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Everybody, if you're watching on replay, please put #Team Replay. We love it. Please comment. Thank you. And if you can't watch, join us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon, whatever, and listen to us on audio podcasts. Love for you to do that as well. And until next week, we'll be back again. And just thank you all for joining us. Enjoy your life and enjoy the experience. See everybody.
Talk to you all soon. Blessings.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.